what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Christian Hanna Horror here. I literally just walked in here after finishing Malignant, the 2021 film from James Wan. This is going to be my spoiler-free review, just completely off the cuff. You know, you could tell my demeanor is pretty positive, so I guess I'll get out and say it. Did I enjoy Malignant? Yes, I did. This movie was, man, it was wild. I mean, it was friggin' wild. What a really nice getaway for an hour and a half of reality. It was good. I guess we'll talk a little bit about the plot. What I can explain, I guess. So this movie opens up. Right off the bat, I noticed tonally that this movie felt very different. And I was already seeing all the talks about this film online. I was seeing people saying this movie feels campy, so to speak, et cetera, and stuff like that. Then I was actually seeing some people say they thought it seemed unintentionally campy. And, for me, as soon as I watched the movie, when I was watching the movie, within the first 10 minutes, I was telling myself, I was like, James Wan doesn't do anything unintentional. If he has a movie that tonally has a different feel, it's gotta, to me, it has to be on purpose. I mean, because you look at the films he's made, a lot of the stuff he's done has been so serious and dark. He knows how to make that kind of feel. So when I was watching this movie, I was like, no, tonally, there's no way this wasn't anything but exactly what he wanted. And I think with what the subject matter was, I thought that worked pretty darn good. But we start this movie out. We're at this hospital, and there's a psychiatric patient named Gabriel. And all of a sudden, you see all this violent killing and staff members dying in this institution. And it's a great scene. It was a mix between feeling like 80s slasher-style movies and reminding me of the 2000s horror, to be honest with you, which James Wan was clearly around during that time. So, that shouldn't feel so surprising to me when I was watching the film. But then we flash forward to our main character, Madison, and she's living in, it says Seattle is where she was living, and she's enduring this really troubled relationship with what her husband, Derek, has for her, and you kind of see that the relationship's not healthy, and we see some physical abuse from Derek, smashes Madison's head into a wall. She obviously gets bruised up really bad, and all of a sudden, after the big fight, that night he's sleeping on the couch, and you start to hear things in the house, you start to see things in the house, and then before you know it, this entity straight up kills the husband. And this is going to spur off the turn of events in this film into what the horror is of Malignant. And I kind of want to stop there, because just to go any further, I mean, I really can't talk about anything but what the spoilers are. And the reason I'm doing a spoiler-free review is because I'm so early with this coming out. I mean, the movie just dropped, I think, less than 24 hours ago. But, this is going to be very different for people seeing this if you're a big James Wan fan in terms of the tone. I mean, compared to a lot of stuff I've seen, this one felt very energetic. But there was also still a lot of the James Wan isms that you see, the cool camera shots, the timing of some of the shots. I mean, it looked it looked like a James Wan film, very much so. In terms of the performances, too, I actually thought that Annabelle, I think her name is Annabelle Wallace, I believe. Annabelle, her is the star of the movie. She was great. I mean, I just think that she carried this film like a true champion. The emotion she had to portray. I think that James Wan made this film tonally feel exactly what it felt like. I don't think it was by accident, even remotely in the slightest. It felt different from the previous works he's done. The music certainly gave it part of that tone that it did, but the subject matter, it had to ride a fine line, I think, with the tone of this film, especially with the way things just kind of go. But don't get me wrong, it's a dark horror film, 1,000,000%. But man, I loved it. It really felt like a throwback in a sense to me to like 2000s horror. That late 2000s horror, blockbuster movie rental stuff, but not cheap. Very, very wild, imaginative, non-realistic, spooky, nightmarish, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Now I am an avid James Wan fan, and I understand that, so I don't want myself to come across too jaded. But I mean, truthfully, I really enjoyed it. I guess if question needs to be answered, is this James Wan's best film? My answer to that is he made Saw. So for something to beat Saw for me, is gonna be extremely impossible or close to impossible. But you know, I loved a lot of James' work. Dead Silence, I think, is one of his most underrated works that doesn't get talked about much because of movies like Saw and the Conjuring universe that he spurred off. But Malignant was really refreshing and fun and different, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Definitely left itself open for some kind of a sequel, and of course, James Wan films, I always dig getting more. So I'm down for Malignant too if that happens. So definitely enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it a B plus. I certainly want to rewatch it because some of the contortion stuff in there, the contortion actors, they killed it. I was watching the credits to see if it was one person, a couple people that did it, and I think it was two people that I read up that did it. But I thought it was really entertaining, but it is going to be fairly divisive, I think. Some people are not going to like it. Some people are really going to like it. I was so thrilled to see something refreshing and different from James in terms of just the approach, because he's gotten so good at that dark, serious, scary movie, so to speak. So this was really refreshing for me to see, and I'm dying for another one already. I'm ready for Malignant too. So I'm going to give it a B+. No, I don't think it's his best film ever, but I was so happy to get a cup of orange juice instead of another cup of sweet tea from him, so to speak. I like sweet tea, but it was nice to get something different. So initial impression, I may dip it down in a few days and kind of go down to a B- or so, but right now I'm a B+, just really high off of watching that. Very entertaining. So not going to really get too much negative for me. So you guys let me know. And yes, like everybody's saying, the third act is bat, you know what, crazy. So definitely, guys, get on HBO and watch this. Go to the theater and see this. It's not, regardless, you will not be bored. You know, I don't think you'll be bored. I think that's a safe assumption. So thank you guys for watching this video. This is Christian Hanna Horror saying check out Malignant. B+ for me. Y'all be good.